Happy Monday from Greenbelt Gardens. Coming out here to check the state of the garden. Very nice morning today. Windy. It's supposed to be really hot. Yesterday we had a lot of cloud cover, so while the sun was out, we didn't see very much of it. Clouds kept everything nice and cooler, but today I think it's supposed to be like 95. So we'll see if we reach up there. A very good breeze coming through here. Sorry if it's making noise in the camera. Checking out the red Marconis, starting to break, looking nice. These are kind of short. The first batch that we had, most of them were probably easily twice as long, even a tad bit longer than these guys that we see here. Still have a bunch that are coming in. Plants are much taller now, so just got to keep an eye on them as they begin to break, so we can pull these off. These probably still have another few days before we get them off. Let's check out their cousins over here, the yellows. Haha. These are starting to change color as well. This will be the first batch of yellow Marconis that we've had. There we go. So that's about proper long. You know, this is easily 7 inches, 6 or 7 inches long. That's what we should be expecting for the majority of them. Got some holes on leaves. Something's in here having a feast. These are looking nice. This is our propagate, our only propagate that survived from last year. We're just trying to get him to grow so it continue to pick off most of the buds that pop up for now. I don't expect him to produce anything for us at all for this season. I want to see about overwintering him again. We don't even remember which one this was. We just tried to pull off 4 propagates last year from the main bushes that we were growing. I say bushes, plants. And this is the only one that survived. And he was dormant for like the good majority of this year as well. And then right when we got back from Greece, sometime early June, he decided that he was gonna join everybody else. So looking nice, looking good. We need to get him into a bigger container as well, so that way he can have a little more room to grow. All of our indeterminate cherries, except for one Brandywine that's in here. This poor Brandywine, it only produced one, and it was big enough to break the stem here. It is not produced again, which, you know, I guess is okay. We had one fruit from it, not a terrible loss. Although we wish we would have had more sun golds, looking good too. Sun golds are really nice. We had a great turnout last year, and this year we hardly had any of them. So those are like the first 2 real nice sun golds for the season for us. Same here for the chocolate cherry. Plenty of little smaller opportunities growing. We may need to come in here and start pruning some of this stuff, get it off. And this big delicious that's spreading still hasn't produced anything for us yet either. Super sauces and aromas. We need to do some trim work on these guys, get some of this foliage off. It's just dedicating too much to growing and not enough to fruiting. Need to tie this guy up as well. Getting a little crazy on us. It's always difficult trying to tie plants up. It's a good opportunity to break a stem, and all of a sudden you lose the plant. These are all green bean types, slowly coming into their own. That's nice. But these guys, black eyed peas, doing good, doing good. Oh, I just knocked off one. No. Oh well. Let that go out to the green belt. Let them, rabbits and everybody else had that out there. But yeah, first time growing black eyed peas, looking pretty good. We took some inside yesterday that were brown. Let's see. It is currently 77 degrees with 92% humidity outside. Ah, the humidity. It's been a little rough. Marigold plant. This guy here. It's our bush steaks. So we got a few bush steaks that are growing in. It's nice. It's kind of mixed in with the banana pepper plants. They've got some banana peppers coming along as well. Some of the newer plants that we had to replant because we had some that were attacked by ants. They're finally starting to grow and get big and produce flowers themselves. We pulled off a whole bunch of banana peppers not too long ago, so that's why they're looking kind of scarce at the moment. Still need to trim this guy up. This is another bush steak. And then we moved over to the glacier globes. Glacier globes are nice. We like these. They do kind of split really easily when it rains. Too much water uptake can damage them really easily. But they are fantastic because they're bigger than cherry tomatoes. They're smaller than the bush steaks. And they have a consistency of a slicer, but they have a really great taste. 10 fingers, we need to go ahead and start getting these bushes out. I know that we see flowers on them, but I think they're done. There's like just one or two more that are still in here that need to ripen up. And I know that we see new flowers on them, but I honestly think this plant is done, because even the fruits that are showing up now are half the size of when they were during their major production. So right now it's just pulling resources out of the soil for the other plants and just growing wild. Same goes here for another glacier globe. Starting to have some more coming in there. It's going to take a while from the right. We need to prune some of the plants off here, or prune some of the plants, some of the stems and some of the branches. Start getting it more focus into the fruit and not so much the plant. And then we've got our California Wonder Reds starting to turn color. Quite a bit here on the plants. I see quite a bit, maybe 7 or 8 of bell peppers currently on here. Some brand new ones that are coming in too. California Wonder Yellows. Got one hidden down here that's starting to break. Tiny though. These are producing smaller ones right now as well. Not very impressive in size. But we got a lot of flowers. Hopefully that means a few more will start to pop out, populate, again doing their thing. Let's move the other side. Watch out for attacking plants. Self-seeded zinnias doing all right too. Wonderful plant, great pollinators. Our Mexican sunflower also doing nice. Got some new ones coming in. Plants get really tall really quickly. Some of our sweet potatoes. We've never grown sweet potatoes before, so we're just trying that for the first time. Got some parsley, some marconis again. I'm going to be pulling this guy up today, seeing how many Yukon potatoes we can get out of it. We haven't had very successful potato crops this year. These are orange suns. Lots and lots of flowers. We need to get some fertilizer into these beds probably at the end of this week and get them producing a bit more, but they look really nice. Some hidden basil, some more morning glories. Here are our eggplants. I got another nice one growing here. These are supposed to get really large. We pulled one off that was early. Tasted really nice, but at the end of the day, they should be getting huge, like palm, hand size, huge. I think it said anywhere from 5 to 7 diameters. Some more orange suns. We got some baby orange suns in here. Look at that. Huge. Great producer for us as well. We had a huge crop just before the rain, and then the plants said no more while it was raining. So just kind of shut themselves down. And now they're starting to come back out. A few more babies coming in. That's good. Some more basil hiding out here. Some more eggplants coming out. And then we have our tiny Tims. Honestly, again, same situation as the 10 fingers. They're just overproducing. That means they're using a lot of the nutrients in the soil that other plants could be using, and they're not really doing anything as far as fruit. And that's fine. These guys heavily fruited for us really early in the season, just before it started to get really hot. We had great success in selling those as well as eating them, but their production has dropped off severely despite having lots of growth and lots of new flowers. They just don't turn into much. Pull some of these off right now. Look at that. Our propagates, I think these are chocolate cherries. They need to get some water. But the only successful propagates, they were they were not planned. They were ultimately broken off by accident, and we figured that we could try to save them, and here they are. But we need to start trimming these guys up as well, seeing if they can do some late season producing for us as we get into the fall. This bed here is just a hodgepodge of things. We got baby boomers, we got peppers, we've got companion plants, we've got San Marzano, and we've got some other tomato plants that are back here as well. So just, we threw everything in here. This is like an experimental bed. We have more of our sweet potatoes that are growing well here too. Just got to keep an eye on things. You got to get rid of these bushes. They're starting to just die off, and which is fine. Again, these were planted really early. These were planted back in April, and then we had a really late frost for us that kind of killed stuff off, and it wasn't a good start to the year for all of our plants. But garden is green and growing in the backyard. Let's go check the front. Right, before we go out and check the front, we're going to check the seedlings, see how they're coming along. Look at this. We just bottom watered these yesterday. Look really nice. A lot of dwarf tournaments are in this particular tray. We've got orange hats, red robins, and tiny Tims. Those we plan on selling, both as whole plants and harvesting them here inside. They're going to move over to our grow racks, large grow racks with dedicated grow lights. But we have two seedling racks, one that's here and then one that's here. These are where we start all of our seedlings inside, and eventually they transfer over to the bigger grow lights once they get taller, a little more robust, and have a little more dedicated space to grow until it gets warm enough outside. But these all of these racks will be dedicated to indoor growing for all the dwarf determinants. Let's see how well we can manage that inside. Two mango plants looking really nice now that we've moved them under the gray lights. We just harvested some of the lettuce that my sister started for us, and so got new growth coming in on these guys as well. Awesome, doing a great job. Let's go check the front. We have these two grow tents. This guy to start making noise. We have these two grow tents. Eventually, we're either going to put some of the dwarf determinants inside of these and grow them. We have dedicated grow lights that go inside as well. Or the mango trees will make their way into here, and then they'll stay there until they're big enough to be planted outside. All right. Cayenne pepper looking good. I didn't get to water these last night, so I was hoping they'd look fine this morning. At least the cayenne looks like he's doing all right. Harvested plenty of the cayennes off the fruit last night. Here is the serrano, looking pretty good too. Lots of flowers. I'm really hopeful that these turn into something other than just decoration, because that's all it's been so far. Shishito peppers have been doing really well. They have been like in direct competition against the cayennes. We've had lots of cayenne production, lots of shishito production, and that's nice. You know, these are good. People like these. So they're not so spicy, not so not as dangerous as the cayennes can be, but they carry their own heft when it comes to heat, and for the most part easily manageable. You can eat those just raw. I'm sure you can eat cayennes just raw too, but there we go. Poblano, little baby poblano right here. Boop. Nice. Another one that's just like the serrano. They've been pretty much just ornamental at this period. That's the first one for that plant, and then we have the first one here for this plant. This guy is looking really nice, beautiful color, starting to come out bigger. I'm hoping he gets a little bigger. He's kind of stalled out. If that's where he's at, I'll give him another few days. If he doesn't seem like he's gotten any bigger, I'm going to pull them as a first fruit and just let it go. When it comes to peppers, you can eat them pretty much any time. Same thing with bell peppers. Even when they're green, you can eat bell peppers green because that's just how they start out. If you let them go to their designed color, whether it's red, orange, or yellow, or a combination of those three, they get sweeter. Just like the red Marconis and the yellow Marconis We can pick them when they're green, we can sell them when they're green, and they would still taste nice, but they wouldn't be nearly as sweet until they turn red and yellow. On the exception of hot peppers, when they turn red and yellow, that means they're just a little more hot than they were when they started off green, or they could be a lot more hot. But it's also good for the seeds, because you want the seeds to, if you're going to propagate from, I say propagate, if you're going to continue to grow for the purpose of gathering your own seeds, then you want those fruits to be as ripe as possible, so that the seeds are as ripe as possible for you to be able to collect them, clean them, store them, and then use them for the follow-up year. We have a Mexican plum out here as well. It has never produced for us. When we had our big winter storm, we had to replace all of this. Back in 2021, everything that we had planted here from when we first purchased the home back in 2020 froze and died, including our oak trees. We had 2 solid oak trees that were here. They were younglings. They were probably maybe anywhere between 5 and 6 years old. They could not handle the cold. They flopped over, they broke, they died, and so we replaced them. We replaced them with the Mexican plum, and then we replaced it with a Texas white bud. And while the Texas white bud is growing and getting taller, and this guy is too, we've had to prune him back significantly because he had too many branches that were just crossing each other, and we had to do some serious cutback. But because of that, he's not producing any fruit, and realistically he's never had a companion up here to kind of help produce more. So we're hoping that we can potentially get another tree out here. We have just a tiny amount of space to even consider that compared to our next door neighbor here. Something that just won't, inundate the yard too much, but will benefit possibly us having some plums. But if it never grows plums, it has beautiful flowers in the springtime. They just come really early. They both of these guys will flower end of March, early April, and then all the rose bushes start kicking in after that, and it kind of is a mixed opportunity for pollinators. But that's the state of the garden for Monday morning. This is John Garcia from Greenbelt Gardens signing out and saying happy growing. See y'all next time.